There I was, minding my own business, talking to some friends about a video idea when it hit me. Why not make a video of the greatest YouTuber to ever exist? A legend, a warrior, the Potato King himself, Technoblade. And that's how I ended up here, preparing to explain how to farm more potatoes than Technoblade did in Hypixel Skyblock. For those of you who don't know what Hypixel Skyblock is, it's a mini game on a server Hypixel in Minecraft, and it has dungeons, bosses, and importantly, an economy fueled by suffering. You start on a tiny floating island, and you start to slowly build your empire. Now, the game has a little feature called the collection system, which tracks how many of an item you've gathered, and this is how we'll measure just how deep into potato insanity we can go. But first, we need to talk about three key aspects of overtaking the king himself. First, how much farming fortune you can gain now compared to back then. Second, how farming efficiency has evolved with the garden update. Third, how minions have changed and how many you can have and the best way to set them up. Before we get into the strategy, let's break down what farming fortune is. For every one farming fortune you have, you get 1% chance to gain an extra drop. Everyone starts out with a base of 100 farming fortune, which means you always get the normal drop. If you reach 200 farming fortune, you get one guaranteed extra drop. And if you push higher, your chances of even more extra drops increase. Okay, so now let's take a look at what Technoblade did back in the Potato War to get farming fortune. So first off, Technoblade got farming 50 in one of his videos, which gives you 200 farming fortune. Then you also have the base of 100 farming fortune, and then there's an enchantment in the game called Harvesting 5, which you put on your hoe and add 60 farming fortune. So in total, this is 360 farming fortune. This meant that Technoboy was getting 2 guaranteed extra drops per crop with a 60% chance to get a third one. Not bad, but let's compare it to today. So fast forwarding to modern day Skyblock, and things have changed. So first off, farming 60 exists now, which is 240 farming fortune. Anita's shop gives you 60 farming fortune. Garden pots give you 72 farming fortune. Crop upgrades give you 45 fortune. Pest bestiary gives you 60 fortune. Upgrade shops give you 40 fortune. A max elephant pet with a green bandana gives you 210 farming fortune. 3/4 max lotus gear gives you 168 fortune. Zora's cape maxed out is 104 farming fortune during a contest. Full Fermento's 445 farming fortune. The turbo enchant is 25. Crop milestones are 92. Cultivating enchant's 20. Then harvesting 6 is 75. And then there is a ton of miscellaneous bonuses like atmospheric filters and artifacts that all go into your accessory bag. That all adds up to 110 farming fortune. Then farming for dummies, cakes, and truffles is 95 farming fortune. A harvest potion is 50 farming fortune. Pest Hunter bonus, if you trade in 40 pests, is 200 fortune, and then a max personal best is 100 fortune. And finally, let's not forget the farming tool for potatoes, which adds 144 fortune when maxed. The grand total, 2,305 farming fortune. This means instead of Technoblade's 2 guaranteed extra drops with a 60% chance of a third drop, now you get 22 guaranteed extra drops with a 5% chance for a 23rd drop. That's 11 times more potatoes. That's a lot of potatoes. Okay, so farming efficiency is basically how nowadays you can farm 5 potatoes at a time with mega farms, which is way better than how Technoblade originally had to farm potatoes then replant potatoes, but then at towards the end, and I think the longer part, he had the replenish enchant, which allowed it to replant, but was still not farming 5 potatoes at a time. So when Technoblade had minions, he only had 28 minion slots, which was the max at the time. But now there's 31 minion slots. So you can get 3 more minions than how many Technoblade had. Now also, there's different upgrades you can put in to the minion. So super compactors are the same as back then, but now you can have tier 12 minions instead of 11, which reduces action time from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, practically making them 20% faster. The farming crystal's the same. And now there's something called the super catalyst. So instead of normal catalyst, which gives a 3x multiplier, this gives a 4x multiplier. And then there's potato spreading. So it's basically like a flycatcher. Flycatchers give 20%, but this gives you a potato each time you do an action. So like each time they farm a potato, they also gain an extra potato. So it's like the minion has 200 farming fortune instead of 100, which makes them a lot quicker. This is why minions now are way better than back then. In conclusion, did we beat Technoblade? Yes. Technoblade farmed at 60% efficiency. We are farming at almost 100%. Technoblade had 360 fortune. We could get the 2,305 farming fortune, practically 2,000 more. Technoblade only had 28 minions, we could get 31, and our minions can have better multipliers than his. So we are farming about 11 times better than Technoblade. But at the end of the day, let's be real. Technoblade's legacy isn't just about the numbers. It's about the dedication, the memes, the war that captivated millions. So while we may be able to farm more potatoes than Technoblade ever could, there's one thing we'll never surpass: the legend himself. Technoblade never dies.